Howdy, Ayebawl here, and welcome to another episode of Factorio with Arumba's Angel plus Bob's Mod Pack. So, let's get started with redoing all of the oil and gas. So, not really the first parts, but I'm basically getting a foundation of how I'm going to do the oil. I'm going to start off with 4 factories per setup, depending on how much initial resources that we'll have for each process. Does that make any sense? So, for like example, the oil refineries up there, a lot of crude oil would be accumulated, so I'm going to have 4 of those. But for like the gas treatment of the ethanol and the benzol, there's not that much, so it may just be a 2 for those. And for the setup, everything is going to be barreled, unless it's only served for one purpose, to go to the next stage. So, for example, the oil that's pumped out of the ground, the multi-use oil, it can only go into one other stage beyond that, and that is to the oil refineries. So from the multi-use oil going into the oil gas separator, which gets turned into crude oil and raw gas, won't get barreled up. It'll just get into or put into a tank and then moved into the oil refineries. Now, those steps there, if one of the outputs ever gets backed up, I may just throw in another tank, or then that's when I'll start barreling it up. So for right now, kind of going back and forth, trying to place down the new area while barreling up and picking up the old area. So there's a few resources that I haven't barreled up because they were just being moved on to the next processing step. I needed to pick up more stone, so I was able to produce some more oil and gas buildings. And I went ahead and made sure the Blue Science was going to have enough resources so I can get my 150. The 150 Blue Science packs that I was going to need was so that I could research requester chests, so I can get the logistics system set up. So the first step in the whole oil and gas process is that when you pump the oil or you pump the gas out of the ground, you need an oil and gas separator. So with the oil, you're going to get crude oil, raw gas, and sulfuric, sulfuric water. With the oil and gas separator for the gas, you get the raw gas, the sulfuric water, and what was it? Oil condensation, or something like that. But with the oil refineries, they'll take in the oil condensation and the crude oil, and you'll get more output from using less crude. So that's how I've got the first 4 oil refineries set up. Now initially I started with the oil on top and the gas on bottom, but then I reversed it to put the gas on top and the oil on bottom. It just made more sense about laying it out that way due to the inputs of the oil refinery. So those 2 storage tanks right there for the raw inputs for the gas and oil separators. And then I moved the green base mineral oil over there with the rest of them, or with the red and the yellow. So I slowly take out the empty pipes and make sure that uh, everything gets pushed into a storage tank. So with vanilla Factorio, if you have an oil or gas resource inside a pipe and you pick it up, it shoves it to the next pipe automatically, so on and so forth. Same thing goes for a tank. So if you had like several tanks in a line, and each of them had, let's say like 4 tanks in a line, each one had 500 units. Well, if you pick up one tank, those 500 units will get shifted into the other tank, and then those 3 tanks will then level out so that they were even. So that's kind of nice. So when you pick up a tank, you're not exactly losing anything. So the tanks that still have resources in them, I'm barreling them up into barrels. I finally got attacked from the east, and they went towards the wood farm. Not a big deal. Not really using the wood that much. Just rebuilt it and moved on. I'm sure I'll see them again. So I was having trouble finding the raw gas input where it puts the raw gas into a barrel. I was able to find the empty one, but not the fill up the barrel one. But then I just did a search and I was able to find it. So I disconnect the gas, the raw gas from the ground input to the tank, and try and let that system there bleed out. So for the gas, I initially thought 2, but then I went ahead and went with 4. It was, basically, I'm just guessing about how much resources that will be coming in, and it being broken down to how much buildings I'm going to need. For the resources where I'll end up or I think I'll end up with a moderate amount. I'm going to use 4 buildings, resources that I don't think we'll have that much of. I'm going to use 2 buildings. At least that's my initial plan. After I get this set up, I should have a better idea with what's going on with Angel's chem processing. Granted, I only have 2 oil nodes and 2 gas nodes at the time, but that coal node that's just to the east of my base has 3 oil nodes. I'll probably end up barreling that multi-purpose oil and then shipping it over in barrels and dumping it into the storage tank. Now the purified water I don't care too much about. The hydrogen, oxygen, that's easily remade, so I'm not going to barrel that stuff up. That's just going to go bye-bye. So I come back to the main base to make sure that I have enough steel going on and to unload what's in my inventory. So I'll go ahead and throw some more steel into the barrel making machine. I'm probably going to need some more. Now all those chests that had the barrels of resources in it, I start picking them up and moving them into just a storage storage box. So if they're ever needed, the logistic robots will be able to pick them up. I'm really hoping there's another way to get sulfur so I can make sulfuric acid than to pull the sulfur out of the sulfuric water, which is just a byproduct. It would really suck have to mass produce something just so you can get the byproduct, because that's what you actually need. Now, when I start using or getting to the next step with the flotation of the smelting area, that should produce a ton of sulfuric water that I should be able to pull the sulfur out of. Well, that takes care of tearing down the old oil and gas area and leaves me a nice room to rebuild it in a much nicer way. The Sephirite's almost gone, so probably when I get done with the oil and gas, it would be to start building trains. It won't be a big train, it'll just be a small train to that one Sephirite node that's out there, just to start off with. So that's going to take care of it here, and I will see y'all next time, and we will rebuild the oil and gas area. See y'all tomorrow.